What are you doing there, Ian?
Well, I'm loading up mags for the match. You said World War I 30-06, right?
No, this is the Rimless Enfield match.
Oh. Oh, well, never mind then.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of InRange. Oh, already moving. You know, the smoothness of the Enfield.
Yes.
So we're doing something really interesting today. I think you guys will find it interesting. You've shot Enfields a number of times at 2-gun.
Yep, and we have a couple friends who have also shot SMLEs or number 4 Enfields here at the match.
And quite frankly, we have not yet seen one of them, not one, literally not one, either you or other people, make it through the match without a significant malfunction.
Right.
Either the magazine failed due to dirt, we got rim lock, something happening that caused you to have like some just explosion on at least one of the 4 stages.
Bolt head comes out of its alignment
Your
track.
gun literally came apart once. So what we're doing today is kind of trying to figure out what that is. And we've got what we're going to call the rimless Enfield match. So what I mean by that is this is an Ishapore 2A. This isn't even a 2A1, it's a 2A.
Oh, cool.
The only difference between the A1 and the A is the rear sight leaf, really. But it's a 2A. This isn't 308. So this is really the World War I Enfield.
Right.
I mean, it is in every guise the exact same rifle as the World War I Enfield with a couple small modifications, the most major one being it's chambered in 308 NATO.
Right.
So instead of 303 Brit, we're no longer rimmed, we're now rimless. Otherwise, the World War I Enfield, and I'm going to be using this today to see what happens to me with this today.
Yeah, the Indian Army never adopted the number 4 rifle. So when NATO standardized on 7.62, they went and just changed over the caliber of the SMLE they were already making.
Right, so you have a World War I gun chambered in a more modern round.
Yep.
But otherwise, functionally the same.
And a 10-round magazine still.
10-round magazine, so nothing's changed. It might as well be the World War I rifle, just in a rimless cartridge.
Right.
You have what is the best bolt-action military rifle, I think, of all time, World War I and World War II and beyond combined. This is the P17 Enfield.
The model 1917 Enfield.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yes. We call it the P17 regularly around here.
Yeah, we don't.
I do.
You shouldn't.
I did.
The P14 is the British one.
I'm calling it the P17, and I'm also going to call it the Eddystone. How's that?
Well, this one is an Eddystone.
I know,
How do you
but
like that?
They're not all Eddystones,
Yeah.
but we call them the Eddystone. So I'm going to double down on that. It's the P17 Eddystone.
Okay.
The Duddle might drive people nuts, and I don't care. Go ahead.
It is a fantastic rifle. It is. This was the outgrowth of the pattern 1913 rifle. The British were going to replace their SMLEs with a better Mauser-style cock-on closing, high-velocity, rimless cartridge. Great rifle, and then World War I happened, and they went, oh, forget it.
So they stuck with this.
Right. However, they ended up adapting that 1913 rifle to 303 as the P14, and then to 30-06 manufactured, and the U.S. military actually used like 3 times as many of these in World War I as they did 1903s.
A U.S. doughboy in World War I was much more likely to have a Eddystone with him in 30-06 than any of the 1903 Springfields.
Yep, contrary to what a lot of people expect.
And quite honestly, that was good for him because it's a much better rifle. This rifle is designed for combat.
Yes, it's a little heavy, and that comes from its origins as a, well, the original 1913 was a much heavier, much higher pressure cartridge than the 303. Yep. So it's a very durable action and rifle. Great trigger, 6-round magazine, interestingly. 5-round stripper clips, but a 6-round magazine. Great sights.
Superb sights.
Yeah.
Superb sights.
So I am hoping to kick your ass with it today.
Well, you've got 6 rounds, although your stripper clip is 5 again.
Yep.
You start with 6. I start with 10, although stripper clips are again 5.
5, yep.
I have absolutely awful sights.
Yeah.
These are awful sights, and these are the best sights of any bolt-action rifle out there. So this should be fascinating, and we're going to have 4 stages today, although one of them is pistol only. We are using a 1911, actually our Cimarron.
Yep.
World War I, pretty much replica of a 1911, a World War I era 1911.
Yeah, and literally a pistol because we're sharing the same pistol.
And I will throw this out there. I'm sorry, guys, you cannot get this smock. You're going to ask, it's people that have seen our video for the first time, where do I get that jacket is what we always get. You can't. This was a limited edition thing. We can't find them anymore. So before you ask, you can't get one of these. But let's move on. Let's go to the match and see how this goes today with rimless Enfields. All right, guys, welcome to our first stage for the day. It's technically stage 3, but this is our first stage. Shooter begins starting in this start box. Rifle loaded and held at low ready. At buzzer, shooter will engage each steel target downrange with 1 hit each from prone at this start box. Shooter will then move to the first berm and from the right side of the stick, somewhere from the right side of that first stick, shooter will go prone and engage each steel target with 1 hit each. Shooter will then move to the second, third, and fourth stick from the right side of the stick and shoot from prone, getting 1 hit on each steel target from each position. Anything less than 10 hits will be scored as a miss. Any shots fired from other than prone or not on top of the berm will not count as a hit.
Stand by.
Whew. All right, so we just did our first stage.
First stage.
How did it go?
Not too bad.
Yeah.
I would have liked a lot fewer misses.
Yeah, honestly, I was a little surprised because when I had misses, I was not surprised. Let me tell you, the iron sights on this gun are almost as bad as it gets. There's just a little tiny front post and a little tiny notch, and then the front post protection wings look like a fright stump post.
Yeah.
I frequently accidentally use the wing as my front sight post.
Yeah, that's a danger on this one as well, but not quite as much of one.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. There are some things in retrospect I could have done better.
Yep.
I noticed you were really good about resting the gun on the dirt every time.
Yes.
I wasn't.
Yep.
That gave me a lot more wobble in the sights.
Sure.
I probably could have done better if I'd done the same thing.
Uh-huh.
But overall, we came out like 1 second apart.
Not even that, a tenth of a second.
Was it a tenth?
It was 85.46 and 85.56. So that's extremely comparable performance.
Yeah.
And I think the reason is,
What we're seeing is my gear makes up for your skill.
well, I think there's two things at foot here, right? The iron sights you have are so much better. However, you have less capacity. This has more capacity, which allowed me to only have to reload once, and you had to reload twice.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So in a weird way, if you would put those sights on this gun, this would be a far better setup.
As long as it worked reliably.
Yes.
Because they've done that. It's called the number 4 Enfield.
Fair enough, fair enough. But the sights on this current gun are they're useful, but the problem is trying to find the fine balance between how bad and fast of a sight picture can I use but still get a hit.
Right.
And if you go slow enough, you can always get the hit. But if you're going that slow, guess what you're doing? Wasting a lot of time.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's exactly the trade-off that people would have expected.
Yep, exactly the same time.
Better sights, lower capacity.
Yep. So put 10 rounds in that gun.
I tried. I put 7 in it.
You need a trench mag.
That's exactly what. Oh man. Yeah. A 1917 with a trench mag would be 15 pounds, but really cool.
That would be sweet. All right, let's go on. We got CQB later too, so that's going to be interesting too.
All right, let's go for it.
All right.
Hit!